It's a new day. Hey, my name is Michael, and we are all glad that you are here watching today.
Yes, my name is Sam, and we are starting a new series today called The You Effect. If you don't know what it's about, you better stay tuned because you have an effect, I have an effect, you have an effect, you definitely have an effect.
You're right, Sam. I do have a really good effect on people.
Mm-hmm. I totally agree. So, Kelsey, who has a greater effect on people, Michael Bouchard or Michael Jordan?
Probably Michael Jordan.
Jordan with 2 seconds to go. Puts it up and scores at the buzzer. Michael.
Would you say Michael Bouchard here or Michael Bouchard the sheriff?
You conflicted right now. It's not because I'm your boss or
Well,
anything.
personally, Michael Bouchard.
Great
here.
answer. Great answer.
Oh,
Family
geez.
Feud.
Whatever. It's definitely Michael Sheriff Bouchard. He's an awesome dude.
Have you met him?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a couple of
Did
times.
you introduce yourself?
Yes.
Like you told them
We
your
spoke
name?
at the same conference together, and we had a little play off of each other. Uh-huh.
You went to the playoffs?
No, like we went back and forth with what each other was saying.
That's pretty funny.
That's pretty
I would have
funny.
liked to have seen that.
It was fun.
What was that conference
He
for?
said there are 3 other Michael Bouchard. There's 5 total in Oakland County. So he said if we get them all
How is
together,
that
we
a
can make a
thing?
band.
And call it
Michael.
The Michael Bouchard
Bouchards.
Collective.
Hmm. Okay, what is a better effect, Michael or disciples?
You're putting a specific against a broad.
Like all of the disciples, 12 disciples. There's been many
It's up
disciples.
to Kelsey's
You're not
interpretation
You're
here.
not specific.
Well, the specifics don't rhyme.
I feel
Michael.
like this is a very unfair
Disciple.
question.
Well,
Well, I mean, there's more disciples.
so what you're
they'll
saying
probably have a
is,
greater effect.
what you're saying is the group has a bigger effect than the singular.
Yes.
Interesting. All right, hang on to that.
All right, but in all seriousness, we do have an effect on other people. In fact, I was trying to think through who has had some of the greatest effect on me over the last few years, and the first people I thought of was you. So our students that are watching, you have had such a huge impact and effect on me, and I'm sure Sam and Kelsey would probably say the same thing, and your small group leaders. You don't know what it does for us to be able to hang with you until we can't see you anymore. And there's been so many ways that you've grown us, and my life has been changed because of my interactions with you, whether I've only had a few or a lot of interactions with you.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so that's an example of a good effect that we can have on each other. But we did say that bad effects can happen too. So maybe, for you guys, like you guys have been that. I'm just kidding. But I was thinking of a time when I was younger in high school, and my brother somehow persuaded me to drive him and his friends around to TP someone's house. And that was an example. And I know, okay, I'm not going to tell you TPing's not fun.
Was it used?
No.
Okay.
Good question, though. Very good question. That would be really messed up. Don't do that. Don't be that guy. But it ended up having some really negative consequences, and looking back on it, I wouldn't have experienced those negative consequences if my brother wouldn't have had the effect on me to go forth and do that. So it's kind of almost like a peer pressure if you've ever felt that or been a part of a situation like that before. So effects can go both ways, right? We can have good effects on others, or people can have good effects on us, or we can have a bad effect on others and others can have a bad effect on us.
Yeah, and I mean, speak through your own life, and you can probably think of a couple of people who have had good effects and who have had some bad effects. But I don't think we often spend much time thinking about the effect that we have on other people and the potential that we have to have a positive or a negative effect or impact on somebody else based off of the choices that we make.
And it's really kind of wild when you think about it, because there are people who affect everyone, right? Like there are people who affect your friends, who affect our friends, who affect us. But I think where we're going today is important. So it's important you guys stick with us, because not only that, but I'm willing to bet that if people are affecting our friends, like we have the ability, like you said, Michael, to affect others as well.
Yeah, that's right. I think, and I'm willing to bet that you guys have actually a way bigger impact and effect on people than you think you do. And you can almost even narrow that down to like one specific thing. So if you think that you have an effect on people in like one word, what would you think that would be?
So there's this large crowd around Jesus. Like we're talking thousands and thousands of people. Like this is like a huge concert. Like our concerts that we go to today. Well, not today.
Not this year.
Not 2020.
All right, so they're all together right now to celebrate the Passover feast. And Jesus turns to Philip and asks, where are we going to be able to buy bread to be able to feed all these people? And knowing he had in mind right now that he kind of already knew the answer to this question, because it was going to be impossible to find anywhere to get bread enough to feed all these people.
Yeah, and Philip was the first one to jump up and be like, yo, Jesus, like, this is not possible.
Yeah.
Think about going to a concert and somebody saying, you know what? Pretzels for everyone, right? Nachos for everyone. Yeah, you can have whatever you want. Like ham and cheese Sammys everywhere. Everyone gets one. That'd be really expensive.
Yes,
Yeah,
it would.
and the place probably wouldn't have enough to even provide for the
Yeah.
people. But then Andrew, another one of Jesus' disciples, said there was a boy that had come forward, and he said, hey, here is a boy who has 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish, but how far will they go among so many?
So this opened the door for Jesus to talk about the power of God. And so he blessed the food that was given, and they passed out the bread, they passed out the fish, and he said, collect everything you have left over. Nothing was going to be wasted.
Yeah. Nothing goes to waste. Just like the bottom of the McDonald's bag, you're like, I got a bonus fry.
Then you start scrounging for the fry crumbs. You're like, Oh, that's just a piece of paper from the straw. But it was touching the fries, so. Sometimes there's a loose fry in the bag. You know, the bonus fry? It's like Jesus is up in heaven. Give him an extra fry.
It's the best.
It is. It's definitely the best.
Like, I think I like it almost as much as Christmas.
I disagree. But
Because it can happen at any point that you go.
well, that is
to
true.
McDonald's.
So here's what it actually says. So they gathered them and filled 12 baskets with the pieces of the 5 barley loaves left over by those who had eaten. After the people saw the sign Jesus had performed, they began to say, surely this is a prophet who has come into the world.
And so the question is, who in this story, right, had the biggest effect on the outcome or on the situation? You know, like was it Jesus? Was it the boy? Was it one of the disciples? Was it someone? Maybe it was God the Father. Like who do you think?
Honestly, I think it's the kid. I do. I think
Giving it to the kid.
Yeah, I'd give it to him because he was the only one who did something. You know, he offered up what he had, and I think of like knowing that there were so many people to be fed, and really what he had to offer was like giving his tuna fish sandwich or a Lunchable to Jesus and saying, here, do something with this.
Yeah.
But that didn't matter. Like the kid knew if I could just impact one person, like maybe I'm going to feed one person, maybe that'll be enough.
Yeah.
He might not have known what Jesus didn't say what he was going to do.
Yeah.
He didn't say what he was going to do with the food. He just said, does anybody have anything?
Yeah.
Because people are hungry, and the kid's like, well, I got this, you can have it. You know, he didn't say, Jesus, you can bless it.
Right.
He just said,
He just said, you can have
here,
it.
take it.
Here's
You
what I
know?
have.
And he was willing to give what he had.
And the effect that he had, like think about this story. I mean, we would have never heard about it if that boy doesn't do what he did. And I wonder for us, is there anything, like, it's crazy to think about for our lives even, like, are there things that maybe where we have done what the boy did and we went to Jesus or went to God and said, hey, this is my gift, this is what you've given me, this is what I have, what can you do with it? Or even to think of maybe there's moments for us or moments for you guys where we haven't taken that step and we haven't had the possible effect that we could have because we thought what we had was too little. And so we want to encourage you guys to know that, like, whatever you have, like this boy had next to nothing, and now people thousands and thousands of years later have heard about it. So I wonder if there's anything that you might have that could have an effect like this little boy had in this story.
So we've been talking about what effect you have on the people around you. And we've been asking you, what is that effect that you have? And even just from the story, we're learning that it's not even about what that is. It's about you being willing to offer it and bring it to other people. And that is the effect that you'll have on those people.
Yeah, and once you're able to recognize, like, actually take some time, we would say do that. Like, think through the things that you know you can offer to other people. Maybe it's a positive outlook, or maybe it's always pointing people to Jesus, or maybe it's serving or helping somebody. Once you're aware of those things, then you can take that and offer that to somebody. And the thing is, you don't have to change the world. You know, this little boy wasn't planning on changing the world.
Yep.
Really, all he was doing is taking the things that he had and using it in that moment. So God doesn't require you to go into your school or go to your family or go to your neighborhood or one day the world around you and change everybody. He says just to take what you have and give it when you have it to the person who needs it most.
So you might be trying to think about, right, what you do have in your hands, right? Like, what is it that you're good at? What is it that you've been gifted with? So this little boy had 5 loaves and 2 fish. What is it that is in your hands? So for some of you, you might know right away what it is that you're gifted with. You might know right away what is in your hands. But for some of you, it might be harder for you to think of like, oh yeah, like this is my hands feel empty. Like, what is it that I do have to offer? And we want you to actually ask the people around you. So we want you to take this time as you go in your small groups actually and ask that question. And maybe if you're not going into small group right now, ask the people that are close to you. Ask your friends, ask your parents, ask your family, because there are things that you have to offer.
And it can seem a little weird to do that. I think we've trained ourselves to look for the negative and the things that we need to fix in our lives.
Definitely.
So sometimes you need a little bit of help from some others. And it can be awkward. Like right now, Sam does not want to do this, but Kelsey and I thought we'll help Sam out a little bit and help him think of what are some things he has in his hands. And so, you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. So I see the creativity that you bring to everything you do. So Sam can take something and use his creative mind to make it even more better. I think we call that maximizing things that he does. So you can always bring fun and joy into everything you do as well.
Thanks, Kelsey.
Yeah. And I think Sam is really good at giving unique words to other people. I've watched him many times. He looks for the details and the things about us that make us unique, and so then he brings that out and shows. He gives an encouraging word in a way that others may not ever give.
Wow. Thanks, Michael.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was a little uncomfortable for me, but it also reminds me of the things that God has given me. And so we need people in our lives who are able to do that for us. So seriously, like, ask the people that you're either going into group with or the people that you talk with often that spend time with you, because there are things that they see that you might need to be reminded of today, and then that will influence the effect that you have on someone tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right, well, that is all we got for you guys today. Make sure that you sign up for our events right here. They are coming up this week. We have a few breakaway ones, and I know
Tonight we got Edge.
Yes.
And they have been a ton of fun. Our summer house parties have been off the chain.
I think I'm still recovering from all the volleyball in the last
True. It's true. It's true. My legs hurt and I didn't even play. So.
All right. We'll see you guys.
Bye.
Hey, it's a new day. That sounds like Sam.
You can take your mask off if you want, Michael.
Sounds like Sam. No. Oh. Yeah. Hey.
Hey is for horses.
Bad effect.
Our 6th grade event last. Just kidding.
That was fun.
It was.
Especially when they ran across DeQuinder and played
That
Frogger.
had a bad effect on me when you ran across DeQuinder, which, if you didn't know, is a really busy road.
What if all your fries have their bonus fries at the bottom of the bag?
No,
That
No,
that's
because then
not
you're
spelled-
at Five Guys.
Yeah, then you're at Five Guys. What is the phrase? Serve set spike? Something set
Bump
spike?
set
Bump
spike.
set.
serves that.